So, good afternoon everyone, and it is a good afternoon. We've got some very good news to bring to you this afternoon. It is Friday the 4th of February now. It goes very fast, February. And I'm going to run through a few important little changes that could be important to you as well if you are planning on coming over to Tenerife very soon. I did say on the live stream on Sunday that this week was going to be a good week, and it is so far with this news. I'm going to start where we always do with a COVID update first. Start of the title is here: vaccination starts in schools tomorrow with the vaccination buses. So they are starting to roll out around the local schools in the area to get them vaccinated and get them boxed off. The Canary Islands have added 1,151 new cases today, with 752 people medically discharged, leaving 103,533 active cases, with 596 in hospital. So there is still a little bit of pressure on the hospitals there, but overall cases are starting to go in a bit of a downward trend, which is absolutely excellent. In terms of those new cases, these are as of yesterday, Thursday, the 3rd of February. Gran Canaria has 624. Tenerife, very good, down to 287. La Palma, 87. Fuerteventura, 75. Lanzarote, 60. El Hierro with 12 and La Gomera with 6. So you can see those numbers really are dropping down now, which is fantastic. In terms of incidence rates, I thought I'd mix it up and give you some of the incidence rates. Overall, El Hierro, 1,022.7. La Palma, 741.69. Gran Canaria, 416. Fuerteventura, 411. La Gomera, 286. Tenerife, 254, so that is one of the lowest for the incidence rates there. And Lanzarote, 250, so really not bad at all there with the rates. As I said, they are starting to come down a little bit, which brings us on to the very good news. There's two fantastic changes on the way. First of all, mandatory use of COVID certificate is abolished in the Canary Islands following the Governing Council meeting this afternoon, chaired by the Canary Islands President, with a review of the epidemiology report for the archipelago. The COVID certificate is no longer mandatory in the Canary Islands, and that Gran Canaria and Tenerife are staying in level 4, while La Palma is dropping to level 3 with the rest of the islands from tonight. So Tenerife here staying in level 4 along with Gran Canaria, but excellent news with those COVID certificates. As expected, there hasn't been major changes in the levels due to the ongoing hospital pressure, particularly in Tenerife and Gran Canaria. However, he did say many of the data are favourable and are showing a continued downward trend, so absolutely fantastic with that. The situation allows us to soften some of the measures, but don't disarm us. There are areas in which it is possible to reduce that down. For this reason, we are removing the obligation to request or present a COVID certificate. So when you go to these bars and restaurants now, they will no longer potentially no longer asking you for it. What he has explained here though is its mandatory use is being abolished, but they are still going to ask the TSJC to allow it to be extended so that businesses who want to demand it can do so and can take advantage of the capacity and closing times on the levels below. So if those bars and restaurants choose to ask for your vaccination certificate, they benefit from that because they can stay open a little bit longer. He said that they are modifying the closing time so that bars, restaurants and nightlife, or any businesses whose licence allow it, can now close at the following times: level 4 midnight, level 3 2 a.m, level 2 3 a.m, and level 1 4 a.m. So there is more to follow as regards to closing times and the mandatory certificates. What they're suggesting there is if the bars do choose to go for it and do the mandatory certificate presentation, they might be able to stay open a little bit longer. So it's a bit of an enticement. I did notice a lot of the bars and restaurants here, for whatever reasons, we're not asking for them. It seems to only be the big businesses, the likes of Hard Rock Cafe, Starbucks, etc., that were really asking for it anyway. So a little bit of an enticement. You can stay open a bit longer, earn a bit more money if you do ask for those vaccination certificates. Whether you agree with that or not, let me know. The next excellent news is the wearing of masks outdoors will no longer be mandatory in Spain as of next week, thankfully. I must say, not many people were actually wearing them outside anyway, which I think they've probably picked up on, to be honest. After refusing to back down earlier in the week to scrapping the mandatory use of masks in public, the Minister of Health, Carolina Darius, has now confirmed that next week the use of masks outdoors in public spaces will no longer be mandatory in Spain, along with the Canary Islands government scrapping the mandatory use of the COVID certificate. It does say here in the Canarian Weekly, is this the beginning of the end? And I do like that question. Let's certainly hope so. On Tuesday, February the 8th, the Council of Ministers will approve the royal decree that will eliminate its mandatory use outdoors, and the measure will be effective immediately after its publication, which is expected in the next week. It's saying here, hopefully Wednesday, 9th of February, we'll see that published and we'll no longer be needing to wear masks outside. As I said though, not many people wear. For me, I was wearing them when I couldn't keep distance and things, but overall, I say a very small percentage were actually wearing them outside. What I would say is, if you do feel vulnerable, or you do have health conditions, or you want to wear a mask outside, don't be afraid to. If you feel comfortable doing that and you'd rather do that, do it. No one's going to frown upon you or say anything to you, but in terms of being mandatory, not many people were doing it anyway. The police were not really enforcing it, but it's still very good news. It's one less thing to worry about. A lot of people were still scared of police stopping them. There was talk, it did happen, of these people in red stopping people, telling them they were going to be fined. All of that will go away now, and it's just one less thing to worry about if you're coming on holiday over here to Tenerife. You're not going to have to show a COVID certificate to get in the bars and restaurants. You might do, but those bars and restaurants will still stay open longer. And also, you won't have to wear a mask outside in this heat. The next very good news I have is that the weather has improved. There's still a Kalima here, but it is very, very hot. The sun is shining. It is a bit hazy, but trust me, it is absolutely boiling at the moment. 27 degrees today and yesterday as well. Very hot. So looks like our normal weather will resume hopefully next week with this other bit of good news. In terms of coming over to Tenerife, you do still need to be fully vaccinated. Hopefully that may change, you never know. But at the moment, if you're travelling from England, the UK, you do have to be fully vaccinated to get in. Do have that on your phone, maybe a printed version as well, along with filling in, don't forget, your Spanish health form, which you can fill out 48 hours before. I've got family travelling over tomorrow. They've filled everything in, they're vaccinated, they've got it on their phones. If any of the bars and restaurants do ask, they can just whip it up on the phone and show them. So do bear that in mind, but that could change. Unfortunately, for the families with children over 12 do still need to be fully vaccinated as well. That hasn't changed, so I don't think we'll see as many families as maybe we'd hoped over the February half term. I think maybe they've gone for some other countries and other holiday options. But I do think that'll change by the summer. I'm expecting a very, very busy summer. I must say, extremely busy right now as well. I've got no cars left. I can see out and about, loads of people, loads of cars, bars and restaurants busy. There is definitely a very busy vibe going on, particularly this weekend. I can see the cars just go absolutely crazy. So I think a lot of people coming over next week. Great timing for the good news if you're on your way. Continuing with this good news update. The WHO believes that Europe could be heading towards the end of the pandemic. So very good news again coming from them. Optimistic message was sent out about the end of the pandemic. There's been a long period of tranquility that may even lead to the end of the health emergency. So that would be excellent if that comes off. That is mainly everything I wanted to run through with you. If you do have any information that I may have missed, I am human. I'm going to leave all of these links in the description for you to read. Things change very quickly. That's how I interpret all that news, but I will leave it all in the description, including that Spanish health form. If you don't know what it is or where to find it, the link is in the description. You can just click on there and fill it in if you are heading over. That's 48 hours before, and again, that is completely free. So we've seen some very good news, especially for holidays. No more tests when you get back to the UK, no more masks outside, potentially no more asking for COVID certificates to get in and out of places, making it all much easier. The WHO talking about it possibly being the end of the pandemic, and it is a very good question. That is it the beginning of the end? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you are new, a big welcome to the channel. I am Andrew, I've lived here for 7 years. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, it's completely free, and there is loads of Tenerife content on the channel, live streams, restaurants, excursions, etc. So hit the subscribe, you'll see loads of videos there. Lots going to be coming up on the channel, as I said. Family arriving this weekend. My dad, Mick Garvey, all kinds going to be going on. Excursions and fun and live streams with that. So do keep an eye for some events coming up this week. I hope you did enjoy that. If you did, hit the thumbs up for us as well. It really does help out the channel. Share it as well. Share the good news. I'm very, very happy. It's nice to have the sun on your back again as well, a little bit warmer. It's nice to be back out in a t-shirt. No more of them jumpers. So very, very positive overall. Drop your comments. Let me know your thoughts. And get yourself booked to come over. There is absolutely no reason why you should not. Everything is open, everything is busy. I drove past Siam Park a little bit earlier after delivering a car at Malibu Park or picking one up. It was busting, very busy. So do get yourself over, come and have some fun, have a break, and stride on. I'll see you in the next update. Let's hope for more good news.